Welcome back to WagerTalk.com. College football action on Saturday. We've got Texas at USC. Seems like several years back this was a national championship game, but hasn't been any national championships for these two programs for a while. USC's got hopes after that dominating performance last week over Stanford. Over 600 yards of offense, Brian, they put up against Stanford, which is generally a good defense. What do you make of this one? This is going to be Preston's best bet, so we're going to go to you first.
Yeah, after finally being able to get that monkey off your back, you wonder they're going to have a little bit of a letdown here. If you go back 2 weeks ago when Western Michigan played USC, Western Michigan was able to run the ball on them very well. You go back to last week against Michigan State, they could not move the ball at all on the ground against Michigan State. So that tells me that they may have some problems defending the run. And Texas is one of those teams that is able to run the football. They've had a lot of success in the past. Really what you want to be able to do is take time off the clock when you're going up against that UFC offense, which is just so powerful and can strike quickly. But Texas, I think, is a good matchup for them in this game.
Well, the coach for Texas, I know, Preston, you know he's had big wins in his career at Houston, and that's one of the reasons why he's now the head coach here at Texas. He's pulled off upsets in the past against Florida State, Oklahoma, and Louisville. Can he do it against USC?
Yeah, I think he could, absolutely could. I mean, every single time he's in a similar spot where they're double-digit dogs, 2 to 2.5 touchdown dogs. They won twice last year. They've won outright, is what I mean. So I like the points. I took 17 under 17. I still think it's worth the bet. So this is one of my favorite plays this week. My number's 11 for what it's worth, and that's if Shane Buechele is going to be at quarterback who's questionable. So you may be asking, well, then why'd you bet it anyways? Well, it's still a pretty big discrepancy from where I have my number, but I love the matchup, which Brian talked about, because of the run game. And I'm secretly kind of hoping, I think the backup's name is Ellinger, I think that's how you say it. They ran the ball so much against San Jose State, and it's still San Jose State, but they've been known to wear teams down, just punish you with the run. And if he's a quarterback, that's what they're going to try to do. They're going to try to shorten the game, like Brian mentioned. They're going to try to run against a USC defense that didn't run or couldn't stop the run against Western Michigan, and honestly couldn't really stop Stanford much either when it came to the run game. They were able to just outscore them to the point where Stanford, towards the back end of the game, had to throw more. But Stanford still was picking up yardage on the ground. So I'm really worried if you're a USC fan defensively still. And Texas has that set up, especially if Buechele doesn't go, where they might just hit USC right where they're weak. So really good number. We're getting 16 and a half still. I like it all the way down to 14. I think that's kind of where my cutoff would be for a bet. And I think the setup is pretty nice, and having Herman on your side never fails. So I'm totally fine with backing him here, and I'll probably play a little money line.
Any concerns about the Texas defense? They got run over by Maryland.
Well, I think that's why the line's a lot higher, is because of that Maryland game. But Todd Orlando had fantastic defenses when he was at Utah State. He went to Houston, fantastic defense. Utah State's fallen off the map. Part of that's Gary Anderson too, but I mean defensively, he's a really holding San Jose State to 0. People think, well, it was San Jose State. When they come out, they run a lot of plays. They're air raid now. They have a 28-year-old offensive coordinator who just likes to sling it, and they scored. It was like 16 in the first quarter against South Florida, and was about to score 23, and then the game switched on a fumble or turnover on 4th and 1. I think so. Holding them to 0, I think, was actually really impressive to the extent that they responded to that Maryland game. And I think they're not back and necessarily a great defense, but good enough.
All right, great stuff. There you have it. Preston says to take Texas plus the points. Do you think this will go down further, or do you think they hold out for possibly coming back up?
I think you're fine waiting if you'd like to see, because there's not a big difference between 15.5, 15, 16 in that range. And once Shane Buechele, if he's announced out, it might jump back up to 17 again.
All right, good stuff. Hey, guys, also check out at Wager Talk. You can download the Gridiron Guide, another great publication from Ralph. I should have mentioned it when he was on one of the videos, but, he gets enough airtime anyway. So check it out. Great publication. If you love First Pitch, the baseball program, and you loved what he did in the NFL preseason guide, check this out, the Gridiron Guide. It's free at wagertalk.com. We'll be back with more at Wager Talk.